I was going to say the New Zealand accent or the way of speaking, I've realized, because as I transition between speaking English and speaking Farsi, we don't use our mouth at all.
But Farsi, I remember the first time I heard you speak Farsi, it was like not as aggressive. It's almost French.
Yes, everyone says
It's not as guttural
as Arabic.
Yeah.
No. Well, it's rooted in French apparently. It
Yeah.
comes from the French family, so it is.
I just heard you on the phone, like maybe
very beautiful.
after we just
Yeah.
like a month or two into it.
Yes,
I thought you were speaking French.
apparently it sounds French. I don't know. I don't understand. But
It's
you
like
have to
Iranians and Lebanese have very like strong affinities with the French, eh?
Yes, there's a huge French influence in Lebanon.
Yeah.
Beautiful food in Lebanon.
But like a lot of Iranians
Wonderfully
went
beautiful
to
food.
Wonderfully
Paris,
beautiful
like,
food.
Yeah,
Yeah. The Paris of the Middle East, apparently.
Lebanon, yeah.
Yeah, Lebanon.
Beirut.
But yes,
More so now than ever.
that's right.
Anyway, you know what would be the worst day ever? Getting enrolled as the sitting prime minister of the country.
But is that going to happen?
It's not going to happen.
Honestly, 3 months ago, we said no way. And look how bad the poll is.
Polls are bad. The external polls, but we don't know what their internal polling is. He was quite confident about their internal polling. This is Mr. Luxon and the National Party.
Is that where he said around the cabinet table, who's with me?
Yeah.
And they're, yes, Prime
Yes,
Minister.
sir. Yes, Prime
Everyone
Yes,
has to
Minister.
quiet if you're with me.
Yes, Minister.
Nah, like,
I think it'd be
how does he make it?
I think it'd be a bad time, really bad time for National to do that.
Oh,
but,
totally.
but doesn't he have enough reasons? Like, he could say, oh, look, like polling is one thing, but the crisis didn't fall in my favor. The fuel crisis, I could leave. I just don't have the energy. I'm burnt out. Also, Hipkins is not even doing that well, so it's not like he's handing in the election.
I can't believe that. Sorry, you go.
There you
I
go.
was just going to say, I can't believe that these discussions about rolling the leader of a party are not being had about the Labour Party. It's like
They are.
well, a little bit, but
Not by the media.
The
not by the
media-
media, not to
would
the
tell
same
you that
extent.
it's
It's
not even-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is funny because the media is all about Luxon. Got to get rid of Luxon.
Yeah.
But the people are all like, get rid of Hipkins.
Honestly, just one of those scandals would have been enough to get rid
totally.
of Luxon, right?
Yeah.
Hipkins has got at least two, and they're not small things.
They're big.
They're major things that question like integrity, and
Character.
trust, and so on, and
Trust.
character questions.
Simon O'Connor and Ashley Church were on Duncan Garner's podcast yesterday.
Yeah.
And they talked about that. Like,
Yeah.
how is someone of this character, how are they putting their hand up to run for Prime Minister?
Yeah, right.
And why are we allowing them to? That you failed the good and fit person
Yeah.
test. You know?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we Kiwis are not looking for perfect leaders.
No.
We're not looking for people that don't, have mistakes in their
Yeah.
past. But these are massive things that have happened, in recent memory, like not in recent memory, in just the last few years.
I think your ability to make mistakes depends on how cool you look while you do them. That's why Winston is like the man.
He's
Because he just looks so
you
cool.
can't destroy him. He is actually.
He's made mistakes in a great suit.
Yeah.
And an unreal suit.
Look at his hair. Look at that
his hair.
silver hair.
and then he just goes on the offensive straight away and goes, and what?
Yeah. Who doesn't want to be
Here's the thing.
popular?
Here's the thing. You criticize me in Parliament, I can either cry or give like a half-assed response. You criticize him, he's like, "Oh, I remember when your mum used to ring."
Yeah.
When did you to Willie Jackson?
did
That
it
should
Some
have
of us
been-
have a memory.
Some of us, your mum used to ring me about that. That should have been the end of Willie Jackson's political career.
He's so
Because it's
good.
not even a your mum joke.
No.
It's just a
That's
recanting of
true.
history.
He can't even say no. That didn't happen.
Very few your mum jokes are the truth.
That's right.
That was one of them.
Well, what a legend.
But they don't get rid of him, you don't think?
I'm not saying they couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think it'd be really unwise of them to do it.
It would be unwise of the Labour Party to do it.
Oh no, sorry.
Sorry.
We're talking about
Luxon.
national.
Yeah, sorry.
I think
I agree with
it
you
would
on
be
that.
really stupid of
Yes,
national to do it.
100%.
You know, when the Democrats were like, we're stuck with either running Biden or we have to take Kamala, and they picked the lesser of two evils in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the situation we're in, except they're in different parties. So we're going to end up with one of them.
Crystal.
Or
Unless we
hey,
get
look,
Al
maybe
Winston.
both go.
I
But
don't see that
it
floated.
would be really unusual
That'd
right
be
before an election.
so weird.
I mean, I don't know when that would have ever happened in New Zealand politics.
Be the
first
first
time for everything.
the first time.
Yeah, well, and hey, we're living through a period now in
Of
time where
unprecedented
like all
times.
kinds of unprecedented things that happen.
Hey, what's
Nothing's probably ever that that new, right?
Yeah.
That original, but
What do you think about Coulter to bring back Simon Bridges?
no, if it's a question of like integrity for Labour, then they need someone who's just not had that kind of scandal, who's considered pretty stable down there.
For national, Simon Bridges.
Yeah, and I know, but I was thinking, sorry, with Labour,
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be someone like Barbara Edmonds that would
Yeah.
offer that stability.
I think it would have to be a woman.
Has to be.
Yeah.
For sure. And
'Cause they're all touch
there's
and feel.
Carmel Cipollone,
Helen Clark.
Kieran McAnulty, Barbara Edmonds, but I think Barbara Edmonds is the kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying because she's great or she's not great,
Yes.
but just because she
And
probably has those sorts of qualities
and,
that the party would be
yeah.
happy with. As for national, I just don't think that it's a good look. I think it's a really desperate move when the country is going through a crisis. Like, if they think that they would change opinion polls based on
No way.
turfing Luxon out, they're missing the point.
That's right.
People are dissatisfied generally with the way things are going in New Zealand.
And who takes their
Luxon's
hospital pass as well, eh?
but he's copping the brunt of that dissatisfaction that is happening at
Yeah.
a general level.
Yeah.
There's nothing in particular that people can go, Luxon's really bad at. He's just not really good at certain things.
Publicly
Publicly
looking
speaking,
public. Yeah.
and I mean the optics of it, which is a very shallow thing in the end
Yeah.
when you're going through a national crisis.
Their PR firm came out and said people aren't looking at it as humanity.
Is that right?
Which
Is
maybe
that what
is
they
exactly
said?
what you're sort of talking about.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, I think one of the main concerns people have with Luxon, or just in general with the country, is we need some strong leadership. You know, but people say, oh, he's a bit wishy-washy, or people say, oh, he doesn't have a backbone, which may or may not be true. But the signal that is sent if you roll him is, oh, we've been looking like we're unified, but actually we're not. And so that just, magnifies and what's the word?
There should really be a good reason for rolling someone from the top spot.
Yeah.
And if it's just, well, polls are down, that's not enough
No.
reason. I know it's a democracy and ultimately popularity matters. But if you're going through a crisis and there's no specific reason that you can point to for Luxon being thrown out, then don't do it. Because there's still opportunity here for the party, for the team, for cabinet, and for the leader to really show what they're made of.
Yeah.
Now, hey, if you don't believe that they're made of the right stuff, then okay, but why is he still in?
Well, if
You could have worked that out a while ago.
that's right. And if they roll him, they'll just feed more into the instability that people are seeing.
It just suggests that the party don't know what they're doing.
That's right. And to be honest, I think there's an element of this where, and I think Mike Osking said this, but with the Jacinda time, it was all touchy feely, emotion, nice, empathy, kindness, all this hoo-ha stuff that was not substantive at all. And he's almost like a complete overreaction where it's just like publicly it seems no soul, no character, it's just numbers and facts, and it's all a bit weird. But people can't connect with it. It's just,
I think not bold enough.
I
I think
think
that's what he lacks.
it's just numbers.
He has personality, but he comes across as too agreeable, right?
oh yeah,
And-
especially
and
with the media.
Yeah, and I think we're living through times now where you've got to be a little bit annoying in order to if you're going to go through a polarizing period and try and keep everyone happy, you're just going to lose.
Well, and there's the thing. He's either got to become Winston, which is charming, likable, funny, witty, or he's got to become Seymour, which is unapologetic, just bottom line, very, very much himself. He's neither. And it's amplified even more because he's standing between them.
Yeah.
He is the rose between two thorns, and unfortunately people are liking the thorns a lot more.
And he
That's
doesn't
right.
need half the country to like him. He needs about 35% of the country
exactly.
to like him.
Surely there's 35% of people out there who, when they get to the booth, common sense will get the better of them.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. The coalition represents the greatest chance for New Zealand to move through this period and come out the other end of it. It's going to be real hard. No one's going to get us short without us feeling it. But by the end of the decade, if we want to be in surplus, they are the only ones who have got a plan that they can show you.
That's right.
Opposition doesn't.
No, they don't.
I just want to say, you said hoo-ha before, and I just want to say to the BSA,
Oh,
sorry?
true. Yes.
we
Please don't.
No mumbo jumbos or hoo-has
You
here.
know what? I want to say to the BSA, bring it on.
Oh.
You know what I want to say to the BSA? Nah. And insert.
No.
Well, I hope that we're right. I hope you guys are right. I think cooler heads at this table probably will prevail.
At this table or the cabinet table?
Well, I think we are speaking optimistically from a reasonable and logical perspective. There's a lot of emotion at the moment amongst the general population and probably in those cabinet rooms. Hopefully the cooler heads at this table will send that vibe out there, and they'll vibe there, and they'll keep...
Oh.
I think the key thing will be the New Zealand public Well, the first thing that people are worried about, cost of living and fuel prices and, like interest rates going up.
That's right.
Can they pay their mortgage? All of those things matter when you compare where New Zealand's at, say, with Australia, with, similar types of economies and societies. If we are keeping kind of up enough with Australia in that regard, then it won't be reason for us to change, as long as Australia aren't doing anything like totally suicidal or crazy. Like, unfortunately, and people don't like hearing this, but politics in New Zealand is a reflection of New Zealand society.
How do you?
Well done.
True.
How do you say that to our face?
well said.
It is a popular sentiment to say that, let's drain the swamp and the people down there. Now, by the people down there, do we mean the elected representatives, or are we talking about bureaucrats?
unelected.
Bureaucrats.
Because I
Get rid of them.
Because I agree that bureaucrats, can create their own culture,
That's right.
and they get conditioned by the culture that they kind of live in and participate in.
Yep.
Their lanyards are too tight. They're losing oxygen.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the question is, does a bureaucracy have too much power over what's actually going on and what's being decided by those who are elected? Ultimately, those who are elected are coming from the constituencies, from the electorates
that's right.
that they represent around the country.
Yeah.
So you could be from Southland, you could be from the far north. Doesn't really matter as long as you're getting voted and you're sent to Wellington on behalf of that.
And are then, having been voted and able to enact the policies you ran on. But I think what people have seen, and this has caused the 15% that New Zealand First is now polling at, what people have seen is that, the public service is now dragging its heels on the will of the government and not actually enacting what the government wants. We've talked about this in the past.
Yeah,
and that's entirely undemocratic. Undemocratic.
And that's where the problem lies, right? If you get a bureaucracy that just fails to understand that they don't have the democratic mandate, they are simply employed in order to carry out the democratic mandate, which is decided by the representatives that we send to Wellington.
I was talking to somebody about this morning. Would you be in favour of a more American style, where when there's a change of administration, there's a change of department heads, department leaders? Obviously, it's a huge administrative task, and there's a lot of friction in that. But would you want to see something more like that? And people's argument against it would be, you politicise those positions. They're already politicised.
That's the problem.
No, but the point is that we have cabinet ministers that assume responsibility.
Do they?
Yeah. For running or overseeing the particular.
Yeah,
ministry
but we see how easily undermined they are.
That can happen when you're appointed in the US style as well.
But if you bring in someone who is
more aligned, it just makes it more frictionless, I think, in terms of like minister, I don't know, bishop who's looking after Auckland Transport, whatever he's looking after, is not having to tussle between the CEO of Auckland Transport.
Yeah,
they
just both agree on something, and he will just enact as well. Do you know what I mean?
Look, I think there's a lot of reforms that need to be brought in to deal with the bureaucracy that is not accountable, doesn't answer to our elected representatives. I don't think it's that straightforward, though. I think there's a more deep-seated culture there that has to change, and I think a lot of that goes all the way back to tertiary education.
I was going to say
where people are being told this is basically how we really do things.
Yeah,
ignore those people from the right or the populists or whoever it might be who come in with a sort of very destabilizing agenda. Yeah. We're the ones who ultimately keep the country running. We're the stable ones.
Terrible.
We're the sensible adults in the room.
Contempt.
But it starts that far back, because I remember hearing that kind of message when I was doing politics at university.
That's the voice of contempt.
That's not democratic.
No, that's not.
Okay, here's the alternative. Here's the alternative. Slash government services.
Nice.
Put it back in the hands of private industry. Ooh. And then we don't have to deal with all this friction on core services. And when I say core services, just because something's a core service doesn't mean it should be a government service. Mm-hmm. Health, transport, large infrastructure, I think should all be privatised and be far better.
Not like, so on top of that, one of the examples that we just come out this week is like Ministry for Ethnic Communities, where ministers of cabinet came out and said, I don't even know what they do. And it turned out that they received an organization under the Ministry for Ethnic Communities received $30,000 of taxpayer money to essentially do lobbying for Hamas and Free Palestine.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what else.
So that's an example of
I would argue that's a fringe kind of, government.
It's not fringe though, because the other thing they spent $30,000. Listen to this.
Yeah.
If you search Ministry of Pacific People,
here we go.
$30,000, and that's what you put in Google. Yeah. It'll show you the billboard, but then what else will show you? Yeah. A farewell brunch and a welcome brunch.
Oh my!
This is what. Hey, remember this when they had their former CEO leave and a new one?
Oh, this is just before the election.
And it's like, how are you spending $30,000 on an afternoon tea or a brunch?
Where's the invite?
Yeah.
I want to be there if it's 30.
Mate, what are we
What are you
eating?
doing?
Gold-plated lamingtons.
But those are quite. The thing is that those are quite simple things to do on paper, right?
What is?
If you want to cut back on that type of thing?
Yeah.
Then you can as a party or as a government say, look, we're just going to ensure that there is a cap on the type of spending that your government ministry, department, whatever, can expect. And if you want to waste resources in that way, then your operating budget, when it comes to comes to like hiring, salaries, that type of thing, your operational costs, you're gonna have to find it somewhere else.
I reckon we should put a cap on salaries for everyone in the public service.
I agree. The only difficulty is that this is getting into some complex territory here.
Are you saying that we're not capable of it?
No, I just think do we want to spend? How much time do we want to spend?
I'm a little
on
bit
this?
No, fair enough.
Right.
We're wading into territory. I think we just get. I think I've got a bee in my bonnet about it. I'm reading the economics book at the moment.
Look, no, I do too. The thing is that there are some like straightforward things that we could do as a society where we could go back to emphasizing certain principles and saying, from university to the civil service, which we don't even call the civil service anymore because we've privatized it in terms of its mentality.
Yeah.
We've made it corporate in that sense, but it still actually functions as it.
Generally speaking,
it's still required to
yes,
carry out the same, services, fulfill the same services that it did when it was thought of as a civil service. And I think that's the tension, is that we've got two very different management philosophies, which they're still kind of like, you could say that in form it's still there, but in philosophy it's changed, right? Anyway, that's why I say there's complex stuff though.
What do they say about mass migration? You can't put Eastern ideology into Western hardware. It doesn't work. And it's a similar thing. It's like we have this liberal democratic hardware that we're now overlaying incompatible ideology, right?
It's
like doesn't work.
It's like like Apple and
Android.
Windows, you know what I mean? Like
can't have Android on my iPhone.
It's like circles in a square hole, isn't it? God, shit works.
But I think quite simply it comes back to people understanding what democracy is about. And if you don't have that ingrained in the civil service, then people will find ways to subvert, the instructions they get from Parliament.
The annoying thing is, though, we have this trend of redefining words or reinterpreting definitions where you say, if people understood what a democracy is, someone comes and say, yeah, well, according to the treaty and Tikanga and the principles that are outlined in Article 3, this is what democracy is. But it's not. It's your perspective on democracy. It's because I can challenge it and say, well, no, I believe democracy is this. Where is it written down that they're adhering to?
Well, that's part of the problem, right?
Yeah,
that's right. You've got courts that have been activists, and you've got academics. Like I heard the interview with Professor Margaret Mutu, on Q&A recently, where she was saying, well, democracy comes in different forms. I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe, but like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, basically, we go for consensus as an approach. That's our
This is what they say.
I'm like,
this is what they say. We should have. This is what we could do. You guys do your democracy over here. We'll do our democracy over here, and like you guys will still fund it. And it'll be great, and we'll have two democracies existing, co-governments. And that's democracy. No, that's called apartheid.
Yeah, in the same land.
What are we talking about?
Well, so the thing is, like people like Margaret Mutu would argue that the adversarial approach, where you kind of debate things in the house, that's not really what Māori, are about. Well, first of all, it's pretty bold to speak on behalf of all Māori that way, right? And to say that all Māori don't like the approach that's taken in the House of Representatives. And secondly, how do you still arrive at a decision in the end? If you're going to take, say, a Māori form of democracy according to...
Well, might is right. That's what we see happening in their own party. Stand over, expel this member, expel that member.
Yeah.
Threaten people with legal cases and lawsuits.
Yeah, or it's just like, the weight of history, the weight of tradition, the weight of what the elders say, kind of is acceptable.
Yeah.
Based on what the ancestors believed, or you believe the ancestors believed. And so you kind of get either this like institutional kind of like credibility that no one's allowed to challenge, right? Whether it's credible or not, it's not the point. It's just that's how you present it, as this is stable, this is tradition, and we don't deviate from it. But that doesn't allow anyone with a different point of view really to challenge what's going on. And they'll say, on Marae, oh no, there is plenty of opportunity for that. People can get up and they can say their piece. But
Well, that's what those people were saying about the Pacific. When we were at
in
the
Parliament
Democratic Resilience
weeks ago.
Symposium last week.
Yeah.
And they were like, in the Pacific, before colonization, we had a system that worked amazing. Oh, it was so good. Everyone, mate, I've been to the Pacific. Right now, Samoa's in the middle of a huge scandal because of corruption.
Really?
So they had a guy who was going to become the prime minister who was guilty of a hit and run. Everyone knew
Whoa.
it, but no one was holding him to
the heck?
account. Yeah. And the judge finally ruled against him. But corruption. A few years ago, or not a few years, a number of years ago now, there was an election and the sitting government lost and they locked the parliament. You would remember this. And he wouldn't leave. The guy wouldn't leave. Yeah. The Prime Minister of Samoa one time, another guy, entered himself in the Commonwealth Games as an archer.
Oh,
But Nathan,
no
you know what I
way.
mean?
No
But
way.
He was sitting down when he did it.
Nathan, you're forgetting that corruption was introduced by the
whites.
colonial
Oh.
oppressive rulers.
Always the white people.
These people,
It's always the
man.
white people.
Corruption didn't exist before that.
We were perfect.
It's a white construct.
Brown is right.
Hold on. Corruption, Caucasian.
Oh,
Get the pull up the etymology of those two words right now. It's the same root word, I'm telling you.
Oh no.
What I
White people all
no,
along.
scratch that.
No, say it. Is it racist?
no.
Is it racist?
His white guilt got to him. He has to pull out before.
It's always the white
before we
people.
expose him. New Zealand first, mate. They are absolutely rampaging to the
Flying.
top.
Flying.
Winnie P, Prime Minister. Simon Bridges endorses him. Pretty much every single commentator that I've seen on X.
Has Simon Bridges endorsed him?
Simon Bridges was on ZB, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And said, I think Winston should be the next Prime Minister.
Simon Bridges of the National Party said this.
Stroyman, yeah.
Crazy.
I saw
Wow,
another
that's
post that was
big.
like Simon Bridges would have been our Prime Minister if it wasn't for a speech impediment.
That's crazy.
That's how shallow the New Zealand
so
voter is.
bad, bro. That's so bad.
Right, he looks way better with a beard though. He should have
tell
had
you
the
what,
beard
though,
when he's in
it
the
looks
first
like
time.
Nolan.
That was what they did to Bill English, because he had this pretty
Bill English was
strong
incredible.
Southland accent.
Bill English is the man.
People that roll their R's.
We missed out on Bill, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
What
really-
could have been? The one that
He's
got
such a
away.
good man. Honestly, he's a
Awesome.
good man. What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think of his
Do you reckon we
politics?
could
He's
get
a
him on
good
here?
man. Hey?
Yeah, I
Get
reckon.
him on here.
Yeah,
I've met him
okay.
once. And we
He's
had a
had
very
bad
brief
time.
conversation. yeah.
He's got a lot of financial nous. Like, he's got really good insight.
Oh, he's
I mean,
so smart.
You know,
Sure, Bill, if you ever...
he actually understands.
fair
He's one of the
enough,
few politicians that understands how Treasury works.
Yeah.
Because he worked there.
Yeah.
That was his first job out of uni. He worked
That's
at
right.
How do we get him back?
Pray.
Should we stand outside his house with the stereo? hold it up.
Yeah.
He doesn't get the
Like
reference.
an
but-
ex who wants to, yeah, come back.
Have you
I
seen
reckon.
Nah, I don't know.
Should we send like a cheese roll?
Does he like
Okay,
cheese?
I know we said
Southland delicacy.
I know we
You
said
don't
we'd only
know
do
about that,
I don't know.
3 campaigns this year. Do we do Bring Bill Back?
Bring Bill back, the 3B.
Yeah.
BBL. B.
Oh, no. BBL.
No,
Brother,
it's gonna be
show me your search history right now.
No, it's gonna be BBL because that'll stick with the community.
Bring Bill. Backing Bill's leadership.
There we go.
Oh.
BBL.
Okay.
Nick
my
doesn't know what a
favorite.
BBL is, but
I don't want to know
Should I
because
search it
I
up?
suspect.
No,
No,
don't-
I
do
suspect,
not search that up on my Wi-Fi.
I suspect that I would be horrified.
anyway, where we were trying to talk about
Bill.
New Zealand first, surging in the polls, absolutely throbbing in the polls, surging. Just really going to make a huge penetration into that coalition partnership.
Okay.
What?
I'm listening.
There's been a deep penetration into the voter base around New Zealand first.
Yep.
Is it sustainable?
Was it voluntary?
It was. I think it's been.
It's performing pretty well for an 80-year-old.
It's performing very well.
Okay.
So it's consensual for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
That's as long as everyone's happy and enjoying.
Honestly, I think it reflects the situation that we find ourselves in, like globally. Not just because there's been this rise in populism. I don't think it comes down to that. I don't think it's that silly or superficial.
Yeah.
I think that there are central policies that New Zealand First have always harped on about, and to be quite honest, it's probably their time. It's a time when
This is the year.
if you're going to do what they've advocated for so many years, you better do it now. Like ensuring that state-owned assets or state-owned enterprises are protected if they are critical to our national security? And by that, not just militarily, but do they ensure that the country doesn't go under, in economic terms or in terms of, basic resources, that sort of thing?
Well, if Winston doesn't become the Prime Minister, will he be the greatest New Zealander to have never been Prime Minister? I'm not saying that you have to be a great New Zealander to be Prime Minister, by the way.
He's
But
been acting Prime Minister.
Yeah.
I don't hold your breath for him becoming the Prime Minister.
don't tell me what to do.
Nah, I'm
holding my breath. I'm holding my breath.
The next time you see me, I'm going to be bloody blue in the face.
Listen, with the MMP, it's possible.
It's possible.
It's
They might
possible.
even share it if he gets 20%.
I mean, other MMP systems, like in Israel, for instance, they had people in as for 1 year as prime minister, then someone else in another party took a turn, and you can do it that way.
Can you really?
Yeah. Whether that's what the New Zealand voter though would be okay with, because even though it's possible in MMP, it might be an unpopular approach.
we should just let him have it once.
Throw the dog a bone.
Listen. Democracy doesn't work that way. Or it shouldn't work that way. It's not about feeling sorry for people.
Yeah, I
It
guess
shouldn't
so.
be.
I don't feel sorry for him. We need him put in the position, mate. Give him the chair.
Yeah. Well, look, personalities aside,
Yeah.
and that's the point, right?
Yeah.
What they've advocated consistently, I mean, people can argue that there's lots of things that they haven't advocated consistently, or they've campaigned on and then they've quietly just gone.
Oh, there's been lots of stuff that they've been on the side
we're
of
not
that.
going to do it. So there's some fair criticisms of the party over its
We've
20,
never done that.
25, 30 years, whatever. But the key things that they've always campaigned on, it's absolutely time now for us, not necessarily to do all of it, but to consider it, because these do relate to issues of national security in terms of our long-term
especially in this day and
stability.
age, in this global environment. Yeah.
So are the other parties even really talking about those particular questions, those issues? Not really. And there's been a very kind of like significant reluctance from other parties to be talking broadly about the new geopolitical environment that we're living in.
The emerging world order.
Yep. The way things are panning out at the moment, there were signs, there was writing on the wall for a long time here. The question was it going to happen soon? Was it definitely going to happen, or was it just a chance that, with the rise of China, reassertion of Russian power, the problem of Iran, the Venezuelans, the Cubas of the world, were they actually going to work together in some way to make life difficult for the rest of the world? The truth is that's happened.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have just pretended that it wasn't happening or that it wasn't that bad. We're now going to be facing this massive showdown.
Yeah.
I saw a clip about this the other day, where apparently if we can survive the next 20 or so years against China's attacks and their sort of push for global control, that will beat them because of the one-child policy. But
because of the demographic kind of weakness.
the demographic weakness. Yeah. A similar thing got said about Russia by there was a demographic expert spoke about Russia, that this is the last window they had to try and increase their territory because of dropping birth rates, military-aged men, things like that.
Accelerated the depopulation, that's for sure. Though.
And I remember this is a quote from Charlie Kirk where he said, someone asked him, do you worry about communists and socialists and all of these things and young people? He says, well, no, because they'll get old and they won't have children and they'll die. And
that's right.
we will have children. And it's exactly why they've tried to infiltrate universities and schools, because they can't have their own children, or they won't have their own children. So they just try to steal yours. But we just got to outbreed them. So
get working, lads.
I'm 3 deep, mate.
Hey.
Nick's not two. What are you talking about?
I'm out here. I'm out here.
You need to stop. You need to stop barbecuing alone and start.
Barbecuing with some ladies.
Yeah,
or just one lady.
Some ladies. Wow.
I would say that.
Take the man out of Iran.
I would say that.
Applications open.
I would say that New Zealand First is vulnerable in more than just the obvious ways, like where Winston Peters is obviously 80, or turning 80, whatever he is, and
79, eh?
And he still dominates as that kind of central personality that everything kind of revolves around. Shane Jones, obviously is a big personality as well, but he's not likely to be able to fill the void that Winston Peters currently occupies.
Who could?
But I do think there are things like fisheries that can really antagonize people, and people underestimate, like journalists underestimate. Some of the fisheries stuff that Shane Jones has been really pushing for it's brassed off a lot of people. There's a guy like Matt Watson, who
Oh, the fishing guy.
he lives up
yeah.
north, and he's just really
He did
kind
a
of
very strong campaign, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
On the fisheries thing.
yeah.
Like,
And
Just
you can
stop
see
it,
it, and you can
Yeah.
see it got under the nose of Shane Jones, like
Oh,
big
yeah,
time.
he was
He
angry.
mentions him in Parliament,
Yeah.
very angrily. But there are things like that are like lightning rods culturally. So
Yeah.
you've got to be careful. Like New Zealand
Yeah,
First
that's right.
could
Yeah, if they're
undermine
not careful.
themselves. Yep.
Yeah.
But I think generally speaking, their assault on the gentailers, right, breaking them up, that's a massive one. It's going to be like
Yeah.
unbelievably
It's
important.
insane.
Yeah. As we're going forward now. So, yep, I think they're going to be a force to reckon with. I don't know that Winston will get a chance to be prime minister.
No, unfortunately.
Other than say an acting prime minister when the National Party leader is out of the country. But
I'm going to clip that part right there. And when he becomes prime minister, I'm going to stitch it to a video of him walking into Parliament with like the John Cena music.
I would have put it past you to stitch me up
Dun, dun,
in all
dun,
sorts of ways. But
dun.
anyway,
This is, I will just say on the side, people like to criticize MMP for, some of its downfalls and issues with MMP, but I think it's actually, I love MMP. If
Why
someone
don't you marry
wants
it
to,
then?
pardon? Would I marry it? There's a lot of men.
MMP, communism, socialism.
That's-
You got
did you say that's a lot of man?
That's a lot of men, yeah.
Okay.
The parliament has lots of men in it. Anyway.
Okay. Yep. Carry on.
Lost my train of thought. It was such
You love
it was-
MMP.
Oh, sorry. I love MMP.
Don't bang the table. I know you're talking about loving MMP, but you don't need to bang the table.
Banging everything. All right.
Gosh, this podcast is really taking it. The tension is real.
I think it's because we're doing this in the afternoon, eh?
Yeah.
We should do it in the afternoon more often.
No.
Do it in the morning.
I think, yeah. Carry on.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
Look, I just want to say MMP is great because it allows the more fringe parties to be able to speak more freely.
We say fringe, but even that is like...
Sure, yeah,
that's kind of-
traditionally fringe
Yeah,
parties.
yeah.
To bring into public discourse ideas that may be too dangerous for the primary parties to discuss. So, for example, the ACT Party bringing in the Treaty Principles Bill, National would never touch that. And that's an important discussion for us to have as a country. The ACT Party is happy to have that discussion because that's their platform. And it's important for the country to have that discussion. But the National Party is unlikely to do it, and so is Labour. Or where it comes to some issues that, like the gentailers or with mining or with immigration, New Zealand First is happy to run on that because, again, National wouldn't or Labour wouldn't. And so just for our public discourse, I think MMP is a positive thing.
What about defunding the police and shutting down all the jails?
Well, I think it's good that these lunatics are saying crazy things because we look at them and say, you are a lunatic. And look, you can have your 15%, but you're never going to be in government until you get some sense into yourself and kick Chloe out and bring someone.
But I also
sane
think
into
that
the
like when
place.
people complain about some of the minor parties in the MMP, too bad. Like they represent the voice of a certain percentage
portion
of
the
people
population.
in this country.
That's right.
If you don't like it, then
That's right.
you need to find a system that isn't democracy.
Yeah.
So at some point, people have to get over themselves.
I
and
am-
accept
yeah.
that there are views, maybe wildly different views that
That's right.
exist in the society, and there are actually probably more people than you realize that
That's
think
right.
that way.
That's right.
But deal with it.
I'm so glad that for all the grief I give the Green Party, I'm so glad that they're in Parliament because I've had friends who've just heard the stuff coming out of that party who look at me and say, "This is stupid. Sorry, this is really bad."
Are those friends in the mirror? Are they
I
other
have
friends?
lots of friends.
Are they in your head?
But it hits them the extent to which these people are just completely radical and extreme.
Yeah.
And then it wakes them up a little bit and think, oh, maybe politics is slightly important and I should care because if I don't, these lunatics will get in. Sorry, these are very strong words.
No.
But
I was talking to someone about this today, a young guy, 18-year-old, and he said, someone sent me one of your reels. This is a young guy at jiu-jitsu. He goes, oh, someone sent me one of your reels to a group chat. And I said, I know that guy.
yeah, wow.
And then I laughed. I was like, oh, that's cool. He didn't tell me what they said. They might have said, this guy's an idiot or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
I said, it's awesome. Like, have you looked at our stuff before? He goes, oh, I don't really like politics.
Yeah.
I said, oh, mate, to be honest, I don't think very many people do like politics, but
That's
it actually affects everybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to know everything about it, but you should be a little bit more engaged. Give us a follow, and I think you'll probably find some stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah, nice.
And then he proceeded to choke me out.
In jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
wasn't in the car
Yeah.
park. This was on the
it's a
map.
bit like a job, right? Not everyone loves their job. Not everyone really wants to go to work every day and work in that particular job. You might rather do something else. But the fact is, you got to do it.
I like going to work every day.
Otherwise, you don't get paid. You can't pay your bills.
Yeah, yeah.
So, democracy, you don't have to love it, but you can recognize, hey, you know what? It's much worse if you're unemployed.
Is there a way that we could?
Or you're a slave.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we could like work it where we don't have to go to work every day, and like the government pays for everything, and like we just get to like relax and stuff? Has anyone ever thought about that?
I love it when you get like.
That's a really good
sarcastic.
point.
That's great.
That's a really good point. Maybe work for the Green Party.
Maybe like, Marxism would be a good name for it, or
Onto something.
I should enjoy my luxuries of the freedom of other
I
people's
don't want
labor.
to own stuff. Who wants to own stuff?
Owning stuff is such a nuisance. I've got to move house soon. I've got to take all the stuff with me.
Imagine if the government owned all this.
Yeah, I know.
They'll
And
just give you a new house.
they give me a new house.
In China, they do.
Yeah, exactly. And look at them.
It's called a coffin.
They own all the land. They own all the land.
I don't own it all. Okay, some of that land's owned by the indigenous people, Nick.
Yes. Not in China.
Well, they're all indigenous, aren't they?
Nah, it's good. So, court case. Meta, YouTube, $6 million in damages, $3 million to that young woman, that young, impressionable, poor, socially addicted woman.
20-year-old.
This is a Los Angeles jury,
A
right?
Los Angeles jury, which, by the way, can I just say, I love Los Angeles juries. Found O.J. Simpson innocent. Great. You can get a late-term abortion in California. You can find a dispensary in every corner. You can gender-affirming care your children. You can put men in women's prisons. So obviously, California is exactly the state that we should be taking our moral advice from. They're amazing.
Technically, you can still execute people in California too.
Yeah, or do they have stand your ground, do they?
Now you like
What's execute? As in like the government punishment.
as in death penalty.
Death
Death penalty. Wow.
I don't know that they've executed anyone for a while, but
They can if
they're
they
still
want.
Just all the late-term babies and stuff.
Yeah. That's crazy. What is late
So maybe I might be wrong. Maybe they've changed the law there, but
Yeah. But how amazing. So thank you, California, for this precedent that now around the world, alarmists and social media mums and campaigners for bans will latch on to. It's just so good. And obviously California's doing really well. It's so good.
I mean, basically, look, social media came from California. They gave
Silicon
it to
Valley?
us.
Yeah.
They give and they take it away.
They
right?
do take it away. My
So
What
they
it's-
were right in the first place, and now they're right again. Except it's just totally
Wrong.
opposite. point of view.
Yeah.
I just find it so hilarious that this person in the court case said, at age 6, I got on social media. I then spent the next 14 years every day, all of the day on social media. And they're like, and the platform is to blame. And I saw someone commented on our post about it saying, these companies shouldn't make such an addictive, or effectively these companies make a product that people want to use, and that's naughty of them. Brother, that's the goal of every company. If people don't want to use your product, you're called the government, okay? You're not a private company at that point.
Yeah.
What do we think? What's going to happen here in New Zealand?
Oh, they'll just run with the precedent and
Yeah.
say, "See, we told you social media is evil. We need to ban it now." And again, this is and you've said this in every conversation. You've said this. I've said this. That's not to say that there is absolutely no issue at all with social media. Like no one. The first question you should ask when she says, "I've spent every day, all day on social media," is, as you said, "What the hell? Where were your parents?"
Yeah.
That's one. And that's really the most important thing.
But this is the thing, right? Because people will say, see, this proves that parents aren't capable. No, this proves her parents weren't capable. This is not indicative of all parents. And you've got all these other people who are now saying, well, the state and companies should be held more accountable, or the state should hold companies more accountable. They should get more involved. It's not going to result in companies being more careful. It's going to be them being more censorial. It's going to result in them being more prolific in terms of taking things down.
Well, and so many people I've spoken to go, yeah, well, we made sure that our kids didn't have unlimited access to the internet. Like, cool. But other parents don't do that, and we should do something about that. I'm like, you know what? You identify a problem, sure, and it's a serious problem for some people. But the answer is not to go and slap a, restriction on everybody or say that,
that's right.
Somehow everyone's vulnerable. Not everyone's vulnerable.
We should find parents, honestly. Because here's the thing, right? Parents are like, oh, we need the companies to do it for us, or we need the government to enforce it for us. Australia, they get exactly that. Nothing improves, nothing changes, nothing gets better. And then now the companies are crying out to parents, being like, well, you wanted this. Could you help us out a little bit?
Yeah.
No, the government's helping you guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, the government's holding a stick ready to freaking whack the companies, and the companies are effectively either going to pull out or they're going to take the fine and not do their job properly.
That's right.
Well, parents don't have to do anything. And half our country.
It's funny. I was saying to somebody the other day, I was likening it to like, imagine if parents just fed their kids chicken nuggets and like Coke for every meal,
So good.
and nothing else.
Yummy.
And the kids love it, and
Super
they don't
yummy.
want anything else. They're real fussy. They won't touch anything that's green, that's actually
Yeah.
healthy for them, or they won't have just water. It's got to be this like this junk food, and you just keep doing that. And then someone said, these companies that make the chicken nuggets and the Coke, they need to be held responsible.
They're making it way too yummy.
Did you see the
No.
person?
Yeah.
But the problem was that the person said, yeah, but chicken nuggets, like have you seen what they put in them? And like Coke is not. I'm like, seriously. If we've got to the point now where you can't see that it is parental responsibility to be informed, to look at whether the stuff is good or bad for you, and how much or how often you should eat it, then we have a serious problem here.
What we're saying is essentially the moment you say, okay, this is the problem, the solution that's being proposed here is that you have an internet commissioner, someone who looks after the internet, who says what is allowed to be online, what is not allowed to be online, who is allowed to be online, who is not allowed to be online, what are the conditions for being online, and what are the premises that you need to have in place for someone to be online and have access to it, which is huge data issues, huge privacy issues, huge censorship issues. And we have this already happening in Europe, and this is what New Zealand wants to implement based on the select committee inquiry report. Was we want to base it off what we have seen in the UK with Ofcom, and in Europe with the DSA, and in Australia with whatever her name is, Commissioner
Julie
Emning Grant.
Yeah.
Cool. And in every single one of those cases, we've seen huge government overreach over online speech, access to information. Hey, you could fix that. You could literally fix that by having parents who are slightly more responsible than they already are over the access of their children. But
Well, you can mitigate it. I mean, you can't ever get rid of it, right? I think we.
oh, totally.
I think
you
we all
raise
agree.
resilient children. You don't cuddle them.
But
away
you
from
could
danger.
also, in the long term, you can probably reduce some of the kind of rubbish that's out on the internet if you've got a healthier society where you've got kids that are a bit more thoughtful about what they're doing and the impacts of what they're doing.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if
you inculcate those values
totally.
in kids, right?
I don't know if this is too anecdotal. I go to church. There's lots of youth. Teenagers. I go to a youth group, help them. They're all on social media. I know them pretty well. They're doing all right.
Yeah, and there will be some that struggle, right? There will be some that are more vulnerable than others. But if they've got reasonable oversight from their parents, and their parents are actually showing concern for what they might be exposed
And they
to.
do. A lot of them do. That's the thing. Yeah.
Ban is the worst idea. Parental involvement is the best idea.
Best.
Partner with education, digital resilience training, and targeted enforcement. This case in California, just because a judge or a court or a law says something doesn't mean it's just right or good, and that we should follow suit. We should actually take a second and pause and approach with our context in mind. Privacy, security, can't sacrifice them for safer children online. The internet will never really be safe, but we can navigate it more effectively. Have I forgotten anything?
No, it's good.
Sold me. I'm on board. I'll sign your petition.
I don't think we're allowed to sell you anymore.
Anymore?
Did Wilberforce put a stop? Oh, you're talking about convince you.
crazy.
Yeah, no, it's good.
One
it's
and
good.
done. One and done. Very good. All right.
I just want to say, you did a fantastic job in your recent interview with Radio Reno where you talked about the police
good.
amendment
No,
bill.
we did open with that, didn't we?
Part 1 and part 2 of the police amendment bill, you sort of broke it down. Did you like how I sent Andrew your one-pager ahead of time and he just read from it?
Oh, is that why he knew so much about it? I was like, I go in and I'm in the waiting room with him. He's like, oh, we've got 5 minutes. And he just reads out everything I prepared.
Because he said, oh, what's a good issue? And I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
oh,
no, that's
actually,
fine.
Arian would be
That was
really good to talk about this.
completely
I'll
fine.
send you the one-pager.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, great job.
No, it was good. It went well. I felt positive.
Tell me about these cops, mate.
Speak less like Obama, but that's okay. So essentially, the policing amendment bill gives police the authority to basically indiscriminately record videos and audio and take pictures. And the reason that this has happened is because over the past couple of years, there's been court rulings and tension with the IPCA, which is the Independent Police Conduct Authority, and the Privacy Commissioner. I did the Obama thing there.
Continue.
where
You haven't hit the table enough. Though.
well, I'm trying not to because apparently it's really
Bro,
bad.
so I'm gonna make you sit on your hands. Can I also just say I appreciate that you break down the IPCA. I
Yeah, 'cause-
realize that whenever I do interviews, I'm always like, yeah, IPAC, IPCA,
yeah.
BSA, and I never explain who they are.
I just assume some people don't know, so that's why.
I never,
Yeah.
and I should assume more
No,
because many people don't know. So thank you for that. Anyway, continue.
Essentially, there was a report that came out a couple of years ago that where police had tens of thousands of images that they'd taken and held unlawfully, and when required to take down, they didn't, and they missed their deadline to delete all of them, and they couldn't identify where half of them, well, not half of them, but a bunch of them were. So
Naughty.
taking a whole lot of pictures, and then a court case happens where now police don't know what they can record, what they can't record. So now the government's got a bill in the parliament that says you can record anything, basically. But they have one safeguard, and the minister said, "Oh, there's safeguards here," and I don't have it in front of me, but essentially that says, "Oh yeah, police can't record anything unless they believe that what they're going to record, whether it's picture, audio, or video, will or may," this is the language, "will or may assist police in the carrying out of their functions and activity." So will or may, what does that mean? Is that not
It's
the broad?
discretion.
Will is
Yeah.
like
Will is fine. Yeah,
complete
will
confidence
or may?
that it will.
or may.
Okay.
You know what may help me in my policing functions? Basically, information
Recording
about
everything.
There's a possibility that this could help me in my investigation.
Yeah, at some point in the future. I mean,
Yeah.
just put cameras in my house. That might help you at some point in the.
It's funny you didn't
I'm not
talk
doing
about it on the
anything
Rema interview, but the issue of body cameras, right?
Yeah.
So there's some people advocating for body cameras. Actually, the left quite heavily advocating for body cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that's a healthy middle ground where body cameras are used?
Sure, and this is what I said. I said yesterday. I said, look, one of the great things about being able to take photos and videos is that when you do go to court, you actually have evidence, and it's not just someone's word. So we do actually want police to be able to take, to some extent, some videos, because hey, as we've seen with the case of many of these police cameras, it actually means that the police get indicted and it holds police accountable at times because of their misconduct, right?
Well, to be honest with you, actually, after the introduction of body cameras in the States, there was a huge exoneration for police.
Oh, is that right?
Because not because they were innocent, but because they were more careful in how they operated. And what it actually showed was a lot of the violent offending that they were encountering. So
there you go.
it kind of backfired on a lot of the lefties advocating because it actually led to better police outcomes and far fewer police being found guilty of alleged misconduct.
Yeah.
But again, it was that thing of like they were pretty aware that they were on the record now and they behaved appropriately.
Exactly. And this is the thing, and this is what I said in the interview. No one is against police being able to take videos or pictures, generally speaking. Like, we want police to be able to take videos, like the example you're giving. But when these powers are so broad and unguarded, and I said this yesterday, it just means that there will be a time in the future where police take video or audio, and there's only one place in this bill that it says they can't use surveillance tools as well. Like, police have special,
Well, they have to be really upfront. It has to be obvious that they are using some kind of recording device.
Not in the bill.
But that's what I'm asking.
They're with
It should
the
be.
long
Is
scope.
that what I mean? Well, it says
with the big like sound booth,
it says something like they can record it if it's in public, or they can observe it from a public space.
Stand outside your house, film me through your window.
So that's the kind of the question is like, and I'm not as up on this as I should be, but surveillance, like generally speaking, is done, from like a white van out on the road.
Yeah.
Where people are normally not aware that someone's
And you'd have to get a
listening
court order to do so.
or watching.
Wouldn't you? You'd have to get a court order to carry surveillance.
yeah.
Sometimes
and
you need
you're
warrants
and a
for
warrant,
surveillance, for surveillance, proper
For
surveillance.
So, but the question then is, are they saying, well, this is just going to be the new normal because look, we've got Ring doorbells everywhere. We've got people putting up,
infrastructure
security
exists.
cameras on their properties. Shop owners have them. It's just everywhere now. Traffic cams. So why not just let cops do it as well? And if that's the logic, I'd be a little bit.
It's different.
No, so this is what we talked about ages ago. When we first launched, there was a series of articles that came out around Aura and then the NZTA traffic fine cameras.
Yes.
So Aura is a New Zealand-based, or a company that's partnered with the New Zealand Police. I don't actually know if they're New Zealand-based. I think they have some American offices. And they're who runs with the facial recognition in large retailers, so the Briscoes and the Bunnings and all foodstuffs.
Yeah.
And their whole system is they photograph every single person who enters the store, and then they run you against their database, and then they delete you if you're not part of it. But there's a percentage of error. You might be misidentified. I actually saw the system in action.
Oh, whoa.
So I was at the supermarket, and there was this group of 3 girls next to me, and out of nowhere, this young security guy appeared, and he goes, "Hey, what did you put in your top?"
To you?
No, not to me.
Oh,
to
the
her.
girls.
To her. Yeah.
Whoa.
Mate, not to me. Geez.
Oh, I don't
I'm a
know,
law-abiding
racially
citizen.
profiled,
I'm a
racially.
law-abiding. They were brown. So
this is all natural.
I was like, if you want to touch me, just tell me. No. And I was sort of with an earshot, and I like looked. I was like, oh, there was no one around them when she did it. That's how accurate these cameras are. And she pulls out a tab of Panadol. Why would you steal 1 tab of Panadol? And Panadol's like $2 at the chemist warehouse. Then she got let out, right? But the only way that happens is because the cameras are tracking. Like, they can see you. In a store the size of Pack and Save,
That's kind of sick.
you have 2 security guards on the door.
That's kind of sick.
And then you slide a hand, a little tab of Panadol.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Foodstuffs has rolled it out.
It can't just be a result, so that we base it on, right?
What do you mean? Huh?
Well, like, I'm not saying you're arguing this, but just because you can get arrests or you can get prosecutions or whatever.
So that is the case that is being made, though, by police and retailers, that they've seen an increase in catching offenders, repeat offenders. They've seen a decrease in crime generally. And this is always going to be the trade-off. As these systems work, it's like using an interview.
Yeah.
If we put a camera in everybody's house, of course, the police's job will become a trillion times easier.
So it ends justify the means. And are we okay with that?
No, absolutely not. Why should we allow the police to have that sort of power where they can surveil? The number plate one is equally as scary, where they can take a photograph of your number plate and through their network of cameras trace where you've been for up to 60 days. Now, you combine that with a digital driver's license and a huge increase in electric cars, and all of a sudden you kill switch anyone who's exceeded their limit of kilometers for the week or the month, or they've gone to a restricted area, or they've carried out activity that you haven't approved of. This is very much 1984 stuff.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because the technology is here and it's not going away.
Especially with AI.
And at what point do you draw the line? Like taking a family like a video while you're out with your kids, at the playground. And then if that's allowed, then why is somebody else not allowed to?
Well, this is one of the things
right?
that
So
they're saying.
you
They're
have
saying
intent.
they're saying that the police's right to record things in public is now less and more vague than a normal individual private citizen's ability to record, which sure, fair enough, maybe.
Yeah, well, that's an important distinction if it's true, right?
Recording for what purpose, though?
Yeah, exactly. There's a
You know
complete
what I mean?
difference when I'm recording the blue, beautiful ocean and there's a couple of people that walk past.
The
blue, beautiful ocean.
Big, beautiful ocean, yeah. Got it?
Yeah,
Yep.
BB, yeah.
The BBO.
And that just stays on my phone, and I probably won't look at it until like 3 years later, and then I'm like, oh, that was a nice blue, beautiful ocean that I went to 3 years ago, and that's just on my phone. No one else has access to it. Now, you compare that to a police officer who's just recording stuff, and it's not necessarily the big, beautiful blue ocean. It's the people, and that's not just on his phone. It'll be on the national database, and it's thousands of other police officers that are able to access it, and it's on one big database that if someone wants to hack, it gets access to it, and not there's facial recognition stuff and blah blah blah. So, yes, I get that there's an operational uncertainty for police, but how do we do that in a way that is a little bit self-aware of the situation?
I mean, someone
Does that make sense?
recording their family at the beach, and then they put it online.
Yeah,
It's basically not that different.
It's
I think
you surrender your own.
It comes down to intent, doesn't it?
yeah.
Here's the thing, though.
That's a good
this
point.
whole lie that's been put out there around operational clarity. This is a very new, and they do it on a bunch of stuff. Oh, it's nuanced, it's complex, or it's not clarity around an operational directive. No. You know exactly. You just are playing outside the rules, and this is a good way of making it a grey area by saying, "Oh, we didn't have operational clarity."
Oops.
Was the operational clarity when you buried sexual allegations from a victim for your second in charge of the police? Was that an operational clarity thing? And when someone on the front lines was feeding intel to their gang member boyfriend, was that operational clarity? Or how many examples are we going to see where the police are playing outside of the rules? And here's the thing. They say, well, to catch criminals, sometimes you've got to bend the rules a bit. Yeah, but criminals don't sign a code of conduct and take a creed and a pledge of being integral people.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point. In Iran, interestingly, as a case I'll tell you, in Iran before, obviously, the war, they had put in the major cities these AI cameras, the facial recognition cameras and things.
In China.
Like in China.
Well, no, they get the technology from China.
Yeah, they get the and I wonder whether Mossad has put stuff in them because it'd be super
Those
cool
cameras are accurate if they work in China as well.
Pardon?
You know those cameras are accurate if they work in China.
That's right, because everyone looks the same.
No, because there's so many people to scan.
Oh, right.
Mate, what are you on about? There's 1.4 billion people there. They got to be able to work hard.
All right, that's just racist.
Anyway,
cut that out.
continue.
AI cameras. This is gonna be the last podcast.
We should not record in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was so unhinged.
Pretty lax,
It
eh?
was so unhinged.
Okay.
In Iran, the AI cameras are able to. What happened, and I know people very close to me who've experienced this. They're able to capture a woman who is not wearing her hijab, who doesn't have her head covering.
Oh, that's haram.
It's very haram. And then she gets a text message to her phone that says, "Hey, we've identified you at this location at this time without the appropriate attire. Here are the fines. Here is what will happen if we catch you doing this again." And then you just imagine that en masse. And so with AI, this stuff is able to expand the reach of the state to areas that you can't even imagine.
Exactly.
And it's already happening in places like Iran and China where they have the social credit system. So it's not just about fun and games and it's all right. They'll do things okay. It's like, no, there's some serious issues here. Look, it's fine. Police should be able to take pictures, broadly speaking, but do we have safe parameters around this so we can prosecute police?
One thing to add, and more as a thought, and you don't have to try and answer this, but with the ability to manipulate, digital images, video, photos, that kind of thing, and the way that AI is making it so easy now, how long will this technology actually be reliable? Is it even reliable at this point, given what you can do to manipulate images?
As in, like, you could doctor an image of me doing something I shouldn't be doing,
or just an everyday image of you.
I heard an interesting argument recently from a guy who Arian and I met in Australia. He has this page on Instagram called National Gratitude. Remember that guy?
Yes, he wrote a book. Cool.
He wrote a book. He's an American living in Australia now.
Yeah, he's Gratitude cool. Attitude.
Yeah, and he wrote a book about national gratitude, and he talked about political divide and populism and all these things, right? He put out this really interesting video recently where he talked about the development of AI and trust in effectively content. And he said at the outset, people said AI is too powerful. It's going to get even more powerful. We're not going to know what's real and what's false. And effectively, we'll enter into this period of time where everything is like fake, and we wouldn't know. But because that was what was preempted, what the result actually has been is an increased criticism or sort of being cynical in anything you see on your computer. So it's bred an opposite result. Whereas opposed to everyone falling head first and head over heels for everything they see, now they double take everything, they check everything. I don't know how many times I see on X a post or a picture, and then you click on the comments and it's like, Grok, is this real? Grok, is this real? Grok,
no one trusts anything.
No one trusts anything anymore. And so you could say that that is bad, but it's kind of good in this case of content that's being produced because you have to verify it.
Yeah, but in a legal sense, does it serve as evidence in court? Does it actually qualify?
I mean, I told you what I've been watching a lot of Suits. Harvey Specter can prove anything in court, mate. Okay? And as the Harvey Specter of this podcast,
amen.
I can prove anything in court. Is it outside
can.
the scope? All I've got to do is get them to put it inside
scope.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you've been watching Suits too. Let's go.
I don't know what
it's the best
about.
show, honestly. It's the best show. I love it so much.
I love it.
Anyway, Arian, thank you for that synopsis, for that beautifully
wonderful synopsis.
Nah, gentlemen, well, we find ourselves here again at the table.
We've roved over many subject areas.
We are about to eat.
We've rambled.
Roved over. Very good.
We're about to eat homemade hot cross buns.
I forgot about those.
Which my wife and Zeke have made for us.
In celebration of
the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
My personally, if I may say so, hero.
Good. Your personal hero.
Maybe even savior, I might say. But that's just me.
Maybe savior.
Sure.
Wow.
Well, no, I am.
I'm not sure if he's saved, folks.
No.
I love Easter, obviously. But for probably a reason that not many people will know. It's because when Jesus died on the cross for our sins and rose again 3 days later.
I'm laughing at that comment more.
Some people don't know. It's well known in my mind. Some people don't know. It was very Trumpish, eh? Good. It was well known.
Some people don't know.
Some people don't know. No. So what are the Easter plans? What are we all getting up to? I've got a few things on my calendar, but Arian, what do you got on for Easter?
I'll be watching uni lectures that I need to catch up on.
Oh,
so looking forward to that on Friday.
How are you finding your study?
I'm enjoying it. If I had more time, I'd be reading more and things. But I'm actually enjoying it, and it's a lot of history lessons.
It's not beautifully wonderful, but it's
You read a
just
lot.
wonderful.
it's good.
I feel like you read so much.
Okay.
Don't know. Maybe not.
I was reading a book this morning, got a compliment on reading, and I thought, that's what I do. What I do, baby. Anyway, well, so you're doing some lectures. You're going to watch any Passion of the Christ, maybe?
Never watched it.
Oh, man.
Apparently, it's really good.
You got to watch it.
Yeah.
They're doing a sequel.
How many? He only died once.
No, this is what happened during the 3 days.
Apparently, he went into the underworld.
To the depths of hell, defeated sin and death.
Yeah, that's what.
Took the keys,
Yeah,
brought them back.
I've read it.
Depends on your
Depends
your
on,
theology.
Depends on your
Really?
interpretation of the word.
Is that right?
actually,
Okay.
but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, Nick, would you tell us what you're doing for Easter?
I will be catching up with extended family.
Oh,
Lovely.
beautiful.
And so that'll be nice. And
Beautifully wonderful.
Probably trying to figure out how to mow the lawns without using too much petrol.
True. Get a couple cows on there.
At
You've
some
got
point.
you've got big
At
lawns,
some
mate.
point.
You've got big lawns.
Oh, I have a electric weed whacker. If that.
I've got one too.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, though.
Well, you can have
Appreciate
two.
Yeah.
If you
One
want
for
to.
each hand.
One
I've got one as well.
Oh, all
Should
three
we
of
all
us.
get out
Team
there?
day.
So the boys
If
get
you
the
guys
boys
wanna
on
do
the
anything, you're going to cut my lawns, then go for it.
Yeah,
No, that sounds good.
goes.
Any Easter traditions at the Hahn household?
No, the usual. Eating hot cross buns.
Hot cross buns.
Chocolate eggs.
For Easter, what am I doing? Thanks for asking, guys.
I'm going to add, I'll go to the church service.
Go to church.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, yeah, that's what.
I will be at church also for Easter, so it'll be good. It'll be good. And we're sending the boys to an Easter camp up north in Paparoa.
Cool.
So they're going to go, and Ezra's very excited to do archery.
Oh,
He built a stall last year. He did carpentry.
He's like, let's see how fast my brother can run.
yeah. Zeke,
Yeah.
I'm a bit hesitant about sending Zeke because he's very capable at everything except listening. So speaking, no problem. Looking after himself, great. Listening,
It's
working
kind of
on
like
it.
this podcast.
Yeah, look.
great podcast.
We're
It's my
battlers.
favorite podcast.
You know, I just want to say as well, I've gotten a bit of feedback on the podcast lately, positive feedback. People saying they're
Oh,
enjoying it. So thanks
good.
to everyone who listens.
Yeah, same.
Shout out to Janet Risdale
Oh, shout out. And,
Jen-
and extended family.
and extended family,
extended family.
especially Sam and Nelson. I don't think we're forgetting anyone there, except for our HR manager, Nadia. No,
Yeah.
Janet told me that I should run for Prime Minister. So watch
we
this
go.
space. Tamaki
Tamaki.
electorate. Here I
we
go.
Do it.
Running as an independent.
Yeah, I'm gonna get 100% of the vote from my own parents. Anyway, no, we're just waffling at this
very
point.
good.
Give us an outro.
Oh, good. Well, no, thank you all for listening. Consider the Easter message as we go into this lovely season. Remember, our new campaign is backing Bill's leadership. So if you've made it this far, make sure to comment #BBL in the comments, backing Bill's leadership. Can't wait to work more on this campaign. I'm actually quite excited on the BBL campaign. So, thanks for listening. Thank you for watching. Stay in touch. Stay in tune. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
So good. So good.
Oh.